Hey guys, recently Banggood sent me this RG-350 sold under the brand ANBERNIC. It's an upgraded version of the RG-300 in a landscape form factor. This one has a bigger 3.5-inch IPS screen, faster processor, and of course dual analog sticks. In the review I did last year, the RG-300 was good, but it did slow down on some emulators like PlayStation 1. It was probably due to the fact it had a slower CPU, the Engenic JZ4760 running at 528 MHz, while this unit, the RG-350, has the faster JZ4770 running at a blistering 1 GHz. Here is a visual comparison of the 300, 350, and a Game Boy Color. The 300 was a pretty good portable. I mainly play 8-bit and 16-bit titles, and I didn't find it slow for that purpose, but it's nice to see a newer, faster portable. So let's just quickly do an unboxing here. So once you take it out of the box, this is what I got. So there is a USB-C cable for charging the device as well as hooking it up to your computer. Here's the little bag that it came in. And here are the manuals for it, the quick start guide as well as the manual. One thing to note is that it's supposed to come with an AV out cable that allows you to hook it up to your television, but it is missing from the box. Not a huge deal for me because, I've got a collection of these from other portables that I have gotten in the past. So to just run through the specs quickly, it has a 3.5-inch IPS screen with a resolution of 320 by 240. It has the faster JZ4770 1 GHz SoC, which is by Engenic. It has 512 megabytes of DDR2 RAM and 16 gigabytes of built-in storage. And of course, the latest addition is the dual analog sticks. So the 16 gigabytes of built-in storage does come with some games and emulators already preloaded. It did have a good selection of games, and I didn't find that I needed to load my own. And of course, since it does have a micro SD card slot, if you wanted to load games that aren't included, you can definitely do so. So let's do a walk around of the unit. So on the face of the unit, you have your standard layout with the D-pad, the select and start, the X, Y, A, and B, as well as the additional 2 analog sticks. On the bottom of the unit, you'll see a power button on the left, and then the TF or micro SD card slot, volume, as well as a reset button. And to the far left and right, you'll see the speakers. Along with the R1 and R2 buttons, you'll find 2 USB-C connectors, and USB-C 2 is used for charging and connection to your computer. There's an AV headphone out jack, an HDMI out, and there is another USB-C which is labeled USB-C 1, which is used for OTG for connecting USB peripherals like flash drives and maybe game pads. And of course there's the L2 and L1 buttons. So they do come in different color schemes, but I picked this one, which is the black and orange color scheme, which I think looks really dynamic. I think they come in like a clear version, as well as a version that looks like a Super Nintendo. And on the back, you really have nothing. There's 4 screw holes, and I think if you remove them, you'll have access to the internals. So this unit hasn't been modified. This is the stock firmware that came with it. There are newer custom firmware out there, but I haven't loaded it yet. I wanted to test it out and see how it runs, but so far the stock firmware seems to run fine. So here I'm testing out the analog sticks using the included program. They seem to be pretty good and responsive. So the analog sticks are actually covered with these removable thumb caps. So if you want to replace them, you can. Here I'm playing 19XX using the FBA emulator, and it is actually pretty cool because you can use the analog stick as a joystick and have your game in a vertical mode, so you see more of the screen. Typically, games you'll play like in horizontal mode, but with the analog sticks, you can use it as a joystick and it feels more like an arcade experience. So the inclusion of the 2 sticks are definitely an advantage for this type of game. So now I'll demo a few games and emulators to show you how they run. First, this is Einhander for the PlayStation 1. On the RG-300 it ran really slow, but on the 350 it ran at 60 frames per second. Along with playing games, this will also play music like MP3s as well as some videos. So usually when I'm taking this out with me on a trip or something, I will typically load it with some of my favorite TV shows just to pass the time when I'm bored with playing games. I think the RG-350 is the new king of the open dingus portables for the time being. It comes in the right form factor. This is the go-to handheld for my backpack now. My collection of these portables is starting to grow, and if you're like me who likes to collect this stuff, it's a nice addition. Anyways, that's it for this video. Have a nice day, and I will see you next time.